Bray Wyatt missed last weekend's Madison Square Garden WWE house show. Elsewhere, a tag team superstar has claimed that his team will never split up. And an AEW star admits that a previous match finish of his kinda sucked. More on that in this video. Hello everyone, Jack and Ross here with the Monday morning news. It's a bit of a strange one we're starting off with because Bray Wyatt is said to have missed last night's WWE live event at Madison Square Garden in New York. Now, live events, as they go, this is probably like the biggest live event they do.
Yeah, they were touting they were selling 10,000 seats for Madison Square Garden for this live event, so it was a big Bobby Dazzler that surely you don't want to miss.
No, it's a strange one. Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio says that Braun Strowman replaced Bray Wyatt. They had the MSG show and do not know more about it, and Meltzer doesn't know more about it other than he wasn't there. He also pointed out that Wyatt wasn't on SmackDown, although I don't think that raised too many eyebrows at the time. It just seemed like, he just wasn't.
What do you mean?
He didn't happen to be on it.
The stalking of Bobby Lashley. It's a massive storyline at the moment.
The live event was going to have Wyatt sort of reprising his old feud with LA Knight, and just, I guess that would have just given him a big crowd-popping win over LA Knight again. Well, not for us. We love LA Knight.
I was going to say,
speak for yourself.
And once you've seen that match once at the Rumble, basically, was it going to be something similar to that? Are the fans inside MSG missing out on that much, really?
It was advertised as a lights-out street fight, which I'd suggest means more of your classic street fight than what we saw at the pay-per-view, hopefully. But instead, it was just Braun versus LA Knight, and Braun won. And there's no word yet on the reason behind Bray Wyatt's absence. It sounds weird to say, but I hope it's a creative dispute rather than something more serious. I hope it could be anything, really.
It could be anything, yeah. Just the news is here that he was advertised, and then for some reason he's not there. And it's just, I think it'd be unfair for us to sit here and speculate. Just hope the fella's all right, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of the storylines in WWE as we head towards WrestleMania, LA Knight shared a post on Twitter that I found very interesting, Ross, because he's not yet got a match for WrestleMania, but could this be hinting at something in the works?
It was a misstep on SmackDown, everybody wasn't. That would have LA Knight win that 5-way that Sheamus and Drew won at the same time, but that's besides the point. He has tweeted, everybody knows you can't have an LA WrestleMania without LA Knight. Yeah. But WWE is late in the game, dragging their feet on giving WrestleMania the opportunity for an LA Knight moment. It's about damn time I get a heads up. I'm done waiting. Yeah,
and it was accompanied by a photo, which you'll hopefully see on screen now, of the WrestleMania poster with LA Knight, almost in D-Generation X fashion. LA Knight sprayed over the top, but nicely placed in the corner so you can still see all the branding and stuff, which makes me think that this isn't LA Knight going rogue and trying to book himself a match at WrestleMania. This is I think, a creative plan, and they've wanted this to happen.
It does seem like they're running back one of the greatest storylines from NXT 2.0 history, which was the custody of the Halloween Havoc presenter hosts thing. They had Grayson Waller dressed up as a vampire, LA Knight dressed up as a vampire. It was fantastic. Now we've got The Miz, who is the official host, as we're sat here, of WrestleMania 39, and potentially LA Knight as well.
All I can imagine when I saw this was LA Knight just destroying The Miz on the mic at WrestleMania. Or them both having great fun trying to destroy each other.
Match of the night with no moves at all, just barbs for days.
It's the sort of thing that would make sense as well, because they're on different brands at the minute, so we wouldn't usually see the two mix. And I think that it'd be a lot of fun. I'm not against it at all.
Oh, not at all. They'll make it work, won't they?
Do you think this is signifying a possible babyface turn for LA Knight?
It's happening organically, so why the hell not?
Fair enough.
The reactions that happened again on SmackDown heading into that 5-way got a big guttural, manly roar, like the Dudley Boys in 01.
Elsewhere in WWE, Angelo Dawkins was on the Attitude Era podcast and was just flat out asked the question that everybody wants to know the answer to: will the Street Profits split up, or are there plans in place for the Street Profits to split up?
Never is what he said. We're brothers till the end, bro. We're always going to support each other no matter what. We always got each other's back. We ain't never turning.
I'm worried about that.
I think they're fine. They're never going to split up. The New Day's never split up. That means, there's an example there of someone for 8 years, is it now? The New Day being a thing?
Maybe 9?
Yeah, 9. Wow. Oh my God, it was 14, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 2014, yeah. Oh dear.
I mean, there's an example there of it, like, going against traditions of wrestling and having a big tag team stay together for that long. So yeah, why the hell not?
And it served them all really well. Kofi and Big E both became WWE champion. Woods king of the ring, and which has always been his dream. He said it's worked really well for them. Do you think maybe they've set an example for more teams heading forwards? And do you think Montez Ford will have the same opinion.
I
feel
think
bad saying that.
There's a scenario where you could still split them up, but not have them turn on each other. Like, have
They're still friends.
Yeah. They've got each other's backs when the time calls
I
for
like
it.
that. Yeah, that's fair enough. But everyone kind of, especially since Elimination Chamber, seems to think that WWE correctly, in my opinion, see Ford as a big star.
I was going to say, after Elimination Chamber, you can't help but think that's the thing that's going to happen, because
Yeah.
they've showcased him really well there. They've not done too much since, which is a bit strange.
Weird.
But yeah, maybe they'll bring him back for the summer once WrestleMania is out the way.
But they did enough in that match. He did the Spider-Man spot. He did the Rock's moves. He just started doing the Rock's moves.
Two of them. People's elbow, rock bottom.
Well, crossing the divide now to AEW, where on his own podcast, Dax Harwood has admitted that the finish of a certain AEW match he was involved in kinda sucked. He was talking about the finish of the first ever Blood and Guts match, which was, of course, between the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle, Ross.
Jericho, top of the thing, pushed off, lands, dies on the concrete floor of the arena.
Crash mat, very visible, It was a shame because it was a really exciting match, but all everyone talked about in the aftermath was that the finish looked too safe.
Yeah, and it's just the way it was shot, wasn't it? You could just clearly see he land on a crash pad, which you want to happen, because you don't want Chris Jericho to legitimately die. But, there must have been a way that they could smoke and mirrors that thing a little bit more.
Well, Dax Harwood has kind of said that, saying, the finish, the ending of how it went down did kind of suck. It wasn't the fault of any of the performers. I just think, again, this was during the pandemic era, so we were all working without a net on how to shoot things. Daily's Place kind of made it a little difficult to shoot, but that's the cards we were dealt. First Blood and Guts match ever in AEW, and like I said, working on live TV without a net.
So the way it was shot is the reason that the fans soured on it. And again, I don't blame the cameraman or the directors, the producers. Nobody knew. It was just those are the cards that we were dealt. So when I say it was the way it was shot, I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that we're all still in the process of learning how to deal with this pandemic era style of wrestling.
He finishes by saying, I thought the idea for the finish was great. I thought the execution going into it was done well. It's just the way it was shot probably could have been thought through a little bit more, considering the small confines of Daily's Place. So there he's kind of, and I feel bad for him because he's really trying to be nice, but he's saying, wasn't the fault of the wrestlers. Maybe it was shot a bit, not that I'm blaming any of the producers or the cameramen or anything, but it was kind of, he just keeps going, that's the cards we were dealt.
I mean, we look at the spot in general, just how it happened. It was the way it was shot that sort of let down, because you look at Jeff Hardy in years, over the past 20 years, just about every single time he's done a big thing off the top of the ladder, off the Raw stage, it's always been landing on that same sort of crash pad, but the way it was shot from sort of below, you couldn't really tell what he was landing on. So I guess that is where the blame can lie.
Yeah,
maybe,
but he is quick to say, it was an unfamiliar era, it was an unfamiliar time, we were shooting it in an unfamiliar way. So I understand. He's being very fair there, I think.
Yeah, he is a fair man on that podcast.
He does seem to be honest but fair.
Yeah, harsh but fair.
Like the best teachers. Yeah. Imagine him as a teacher. He'd be so harsh.
Just like that one off the advert.
Yeah, nice one, sir. Yeah. And finally, right, so when I initially saw this story, I thought, oh, come on now, because the news is flooded with older wrestlers trying to steal a bit of the spotlight from the younger, more current talent. But I read this story, and then I fully agreed with the older talent. Former ECW and WWE star for a short while, Francine, has threatened legal action against WWE because WWE have been referring to first Liv Morgan and now more recently Lita as the Queen of Extreme, which is of course a nickname that Francine has used consistently over the years. She shared her thoughts on her own Eyes Up Here podcast.
Eyes up where?
Eyes Up Here.
Oh my goodness.
No.
My eyes have been up there all the time. I've been using it for almost 3 decades, Francine said, and that's what some people don't understand. One guy was like, oh, get over it. You're not relevant anymore. That's a bit harsh. You passed the torch or whatever. That's not the point. Lita doesn't need the torch passed to her. She's a star. She's a star in herself. She doesn't need me to help her. My thing is, what people don't understand is when you establish a character and a gimmick and a name, and you use that for years and years, you don't pass that name on to somebody. It's not like I'm doing every indie show that I can, working ringside at 51 years old. She's 51.
Wow.
Bloody Nora. Saying I can hang with the younger, in brackets, talent.
She's saying, I'm just trying to hold on to my legacy in this business, and that is the name I have used. That's the name people know me by. So why would I just give it away and let other people use it? She also mentioned that she has now submitted a trademark request and is waiting for that to be finalized, and then said, I'm going to get that trademark, and if they, WWE, continue to use it, we're going to file a cease and desist. And that's it, because they would do the same to me. I'm going to protect it. I'm not calling the girls out. I'm calling the company out, and I'm saying, listen, that's not your name to use. That's my name. And you know what? When I first saw this, I was like, oh, come on. And then I read it. I thought, no, she's right.
It's that bit at the end there where she's like, the company would do that to me if I started doing that. It's a fair play. Yeah, get it done.
She's made it very clear she's not criticising Lita or Liv Morgan. She's criticising WWE for in her mind, acting hypocritically. And I think she's explained it really well.
Exactly.
Fair
Give them a
play.
taste of their own medicine, Francine.
Go on! The Queen of Extreme. Thank you very much for watching this news video. Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below and stay tuned to this very channel, not only for our second news video later on today, but I believe Adam is going to be live streaming some WWE 2K career mode, the new one.
The new one. At 9 p.m. GMT, we are currently on Things.
On Things.
Is it on YouTube or Twitch?
I believe it's on YouTube, youtube.com/Cultaholic.
/live.
Check out our Twitch as well, twitch.tv/Cultaholic. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you very soon.